Good afternoon, uh, Dr. Preetham Singh, all my fellow panelists here, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Dwarkanath right in the beginning mentioned that change is absolutely essential, and change management is also equally important. So right now my timing has been changed from 10 minutes to 5 minutes. So accordingly, I'll adjust. And I'm reminded of my early days in shooting when I used to do rifle shooting, that the lesson given there was that you be ready, aim, and then fire. That's how you used to shoot. The world has changed, and so has this lesson. Now the lesson is ready, fire, and then aim. And that's what is happening in the industry today. Because if you look at this lesson has the element of timing in it. So the time has shortened for the end result. And hence, you ready and fire. And you need to have speed so that you can catch with that bullet and aim it so that it hits the right target. And that's what is needed by the industry. And I think this is exactly what is needed by the academia, by institutes, to understand that the rapidly changing need of industry. And you can't have a program which was started in 1960 to still continue in 2017. Lot of things have changed. I'm sure there are a lot of changes which have happened in the curriculum there, but are they meeting the requirement of industry? I think this is the question that we keep asking the academia world. Because like we do and develop a product, we also start off with an end in time. That this is the end date by which we need to launch, because the world is looking at what is going to be launched, the product, and also your competitors, because they're also looking at when are you going to launch. And like movies, somebody launches that or somebody releases that movie a week in advance, and whole lot of money has gone to the other end. Similarly, a product is launched maybe a little earlier, and then your product is gone. Similarly, if that be so, why can't academia, why can't institutes start looking at the requirement of industry and then decide the time frame, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, 3 years, 5 years? I mean, why? Why 2 years? If 2 years can produce general managers and the requirement of industry is general manager plus, 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 then what is that? How is that going to fulfill? And how is it going to cater to the need of the industry? So, keeping the time in mind, I would say that industry and academia have the same relationship as demand and supply, customer and supplier. And if customer need is the key to developing your product, because the student that comes out is your product, if that be so, how much of effort is taken by academia to understand the needs of the customer? The moment you get into needs, you'll find that you need to segregate it in multiple layers. A large organization may have a different need versus a small organization, a medium-sized organization. Do you cater? Does the industry, does the academia cater? Does the institute cater to different requirements? Because it's the same curriculum being produced and same set of students who are going to any kind of industry, but the requirement is very different. Very, very different. If it's a complex organization, its requirement is very different from a very simple one-product organization. If you're a B2B, your requirement is very different, but B2C, or at which phase your industry is. If you're into B2B, if you're into commodity, I'll give you an example of steel because I come from Tata Steel. Steel was considered a commodity product. But how do you brand it? How do you make it a branded product? it requires a different skill set, a different kind of background. It requires application of the same knowledge in a different way. But do you have a product which is ready to do it? I don't say that industry is not at fault. Yes, we also don't provide enough opportunity to academia, and we have also not stretched our hand to pick up that academia or have tie-ups. We do believe in TQM and a whole lot of quality movement, where we need to have strong relationship between supplier and customer in order to develop the right kind of product which can deliver value to the user, to consumers. And I think that is very important. I don't know how many academia, how many institutes have a strong relationship with one organization or one set of industries. Very few. Now, if in the absence of that, what happens? Like today, we are moving from a B2B business from B2B to B2C. A different skill set is needed for even handling marketing. I may be getting the same set of people coming from similar kind of institutes, be IIMs or any other B school, but do they understand the difference now that organization needs? Have they been prepared according to that need? No. So we have to do it. If we have to do it, then we are happy to take anybody and do everything ourselves. And that is why we keep having our own institutes, our own training, our own training institutes. And the reason is that we don't get the right material. We get not only finished, semi-finished, we get raw. And that is where the question comes, that when you say employable or not employable, because if it is semi-finished, it is employable, yes. But if it is raw, in that case, it is not employable. And then a whole lot of other skills, I think it has already been talked about. We are looking for people who can hit the ground running. Reason being that every moment saved in the organization on any decision or any action or any execution is money. And we are looking for reducing the time frame in terms of ensuring that anyone who comes to us is ready to hit the ground running. And that is why, in the absence of a tie-up, a long-term relationship, institute being ready to do what is required by us, we do it ourselves. Recently, we launched a program because we found that nobody, or many institutes, even the premier institutes, they don't even know about what exactly is needed in the steel industry. So we launched a program called Steelathon, where we had gone to different B schools, and we had our live problems which we face as a project, which can be done in 2 months, 3 months. We had a competition across all institutes, and I'm happy to inform that close to about 3,000 students participated in that. Close to about 1,000 teams, they come in teams. We do a shortlisting, and the top 15 of them, we call them, and these top 15 are then attached to the relevant managers who are dealing with that problem. And they mentor them for a period of 2 months. And post final recommendation by them, which they would have implemented, we select the finals and final team. In the process, what happens, it's a win-win for both. We know how is this student who has been shortlisted, comes, understands the industry, seen a live project, has been mentored, and the individual also understands that what exactly live problem is. So he moves away from theory, comes into live, understands it, see its execution till the end and the outcome. Whole lot of learning under a mentor. So I'm saying this kind of programs are being organized. We have a number of such programs which are being organized. So at the end of it, I'll again go back to that lesson that the industry's requirement needs to be understood by academia. Industry is ready to stretch its hands, provided it gets that confidence that there'll be a change. Because we talk about change, but we don't really change. Whereas in industry, in organizations, what is needed is a definitive change so that it can result into something which the industry is looking for. So I would suggest that that kind of a change in curriculum is needed. Whole lot of details can be looked at as to what. One key factor is the technology today, because the students who get into an institute, who finally come to industry, they are way ahead in terms of their understanding of technology of different kind which can be used in the industry than many of the faculty. So preparation of faculty to understand that what is that technology and how that is going to help the industry in terms of any of those factors which lead to a good product, it is very important for faculty to understand, assimilate that as a part of the curriculum so that there is seamless understanding amongst the students about what is that technology and how the technology can help. I'll just give you a small example and end. It's something like augmented reality, for example. Now, if there is a product or a problem in the plant, in the equipment, with the help of augmented reality, the individual can go and start working to repair, to maintain, to do whatever needed on the particular plant or machinery without any background. Do we teach such kind of stuff? Do we prepare our students to cut the time short? You start up with the augmented reality and get into a problem, you can solve it, because the other part, which is more in terms of your own decision-making, analytics, and the rest, has been taught to you, and you're ready for that. So I think this is what I would like to say from the industry side, that there's a huge requirement, and curriculum can be, can be decided with the help of the industry, and I think that will be more practical, relevant, and useful for both. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Suresh. Now, can I request